Hello, all you fabulous females out there. This is Louise Fennell coming to you from mmtv in Melrose. And today my guest is Carole Lowenstein, and she is with Mystic Valley Elder Services and is co-teaching an 8-week course on fear of falling. She can correct me on the exact title on that. And Carole, would you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this?
Sure. I'm a nurse practitioner. Sorry. And I retired in 2017, and I was looking for something to do to volunteer. And I said, let me check out Mystic Valley Elder Services, because I live in Malden, and it's right in Malden. And they had a list of things you could do, and one of them was to teach health classes to seniors. And that was something that I thought was perfect for me to do. I've done teaching in other settings, and I just thought that that would be a good way for me to get into volunteering and react and interact with the community of seniors and some of the other wonderful things that Mystic Valley does. And so that's how I got into this. And I did training on healthy eating, and the second one was the matter of balance, which is also the fear of falling program. And so that's how I got into it.
And how did you end up co-teaching it?
Well, they always have two people that teach the class. And Suresh, who was the other teacher that was in your class that you took, he has been teaching for many years and had a lot of experience. And I don't have as much experience teaching these exact classes. So that's how they run the program. They run with two co-leaders all the time. Okay.
And this is an 8-week course?
It's an 8-week course. It goes for 2 hours approximately every week. The requirement is that you do at least 5 of the classes in order to get your certificate at the end. And it's a very, I would say it's very casual, very cordial, very interactive. We actually had a great group in your class that you took. There was 12 wonderful women, and they were wonderful, and they were very participative and very inquisitive, and asked a lot of questions, and we had a lot of fun.
We did. Yeah. Could you explain a little bit to people about the content of the class?
So the Matter of Balance course was actually based on a course called Fear of Falling and a Matter of Balance that was developed by BU. And then they developed it through the state of Maine, through the University of Southern Maine, and also several of the Maine elderly services. They developed a program for it was called the lay leader model. So basically, that means that you don't have to be a medical professional in order to teach the class. I happen to be a nurse practitioner, but it's not necessarily taught by medical professionals. And so basically, it's 8 weeks. The first week is an introduction to the program, and we talk about basically fear of falling, which is a major issue among seniors of any age, and it just gives you sort of an idea of what the program is going to be, and helps people to interact with each other. And because that's a really important part of this class, in the interaction and the participation of the members. And then the second week talks about exploring thoughts and concerns about falling. Then the third week is exercise and fall prevention. So in the third week, we actually give exercises. And the expectation is that you go home and you're going to do them every week. Every day. We do them every week from week 3 to week 8 in the class, but the expectation is that you would continue to do them at home, and the exercises are meant to help build strength and balance and confidence and these are exercises that are specifically developed to work on those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next class talks about assertiveness and fall prevention. And assertiveness it's really about asking for help. And how do you ask for help? And if you're not getting the help, how to assert yourself to be able to do that, which is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about managing concerns about falling, and then recognizing what they call faulty habits, which are habits that people have that can lead to somebody being unbalanced and having a fall.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about recognizing the fall hazards in your home and in your community. And it's very interactive, like I said. So actually you go home with homework several times. And so you have things that you're supposed to do, like to look around your own environment where you live and what kind of things you can do to alleviate any hazards of fall, and what you can do to make your space safer.
Can you talk for a second about what some of those things are?
Sure. So basically...
For instance, I'm thinking about scatter rugs.
Right, scatter rugs is one of the things. Having bars in the bathrooms, particularly in the tub and in the bathrooms or wherever they're needed, and things that you can do for, like for example, reaching. So if you need some kind of an assistive device so that you're not reaching. We talk about climbing on step stools and ladders and those kind of things, so that you make sure that that's safe, or not do it at all if it's.
Can I
it is
interrupt you for a second? I'm picturing one of the things I did one time. My kids have helped me sort of clear the clutter out of my apartment and everything. However, my kids are approximately 3-4 inches taller than I am. So a lot of things end up higher than optimum from me. And one day I was reaching up with I have one of those things that you can reach, cereal boxes are easy and everything. Well, I reached up to get something and it came partly down and whacked me right on the forehead. And I was thinking, I guess you need to think about what you're putting at a height where you can still grasp it. Like cereal box is fine. But a glass is not, so things like that.
If you set your cabinets up so the things that you use the most are in the lower part of the cabinets, and the things that you don't use all the time, they're a little bit higher, something like that can make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
And so then, but can I? It's okay if I just give a little statistics about?
Oh, definitely.
So, the studies have shown that 41% of people that have fallen and 23% of non-fallers, people that have not fallen, experienced activity restrictions over 6 months because of the fear of falling. And the fear of falling can lead to a debilitating spiral marked by loss of confidence, reduced activity, resulting in ultimately in the loss of independence. Because if you have the fear that you're going to fall, and so you don't move and you don't do something, what happens is you become complacent and you're not active, so you lose your physical ability. But also that fear can be crippling in some people. And I totally understand that nobody wants to fall and break something, because that's, that can be very detrimental for a lot of people. And, but it's the cycle that people get into that we try to get people to get out of and to think differently about it. And so that yes, it's okay to have a fear of falling, but there are things that you can do in your life so that it's not, so that it makes you more confident and builds your strength, and physically it helps. Now, there are medical reasons that you can fall as well. Low blood pressure, or low blood sugar, orthostatic hypotension. So we go over a lot of those things in the class. And orthostatic hypotension, for people that don't know, is when you get up abruptly from sitting or standing position, what can happen is your blood pressure just goes very low, and then you have a syncopal episode or fainting episode. And so can be alleviated, for example, by just when you're lying, you sit on the end of the bed or the couch, wherever you're getting up from, for several minutes in order to just let your body to adjust. The same thing if you're going from sitting to standing. If you do that and you get up slowly and then you just take your time and let your body adjust to that can help alleviate those. So there's certain things like that we talk about in the class as well. And
good.
And so I think that, it's very prevalent in the senior community that people have this fear. And the more information that you have, it's always better when you have more information about it.
Yeah. I was thinking about myself in the past, say, week and a half with the weather. There were a few days when I decided not to go out at all. And then I thought, but, I don't want to stop walking. And yet there are icy areas. I live right off Main Street in Melrose. And so the main drag is always very clear, but getting to that is not always. Do you have any advice on how to maneuver in the situations we've had in the past week or so?
Well, that's really very difficult. So obviously, good footwear is one of a major thing that you can do. Make sure you have footwear on it that's rubber or has some kind of a tread or something. But it's hard. You can't get people to clear the sidewalks. And so if you have somebody else with you that you can lean on, if you've got assistive devices like canes or a walker, those kind of things help. Although that can be, sometimes in that situation, they can slip and, that can be detrimental as well. It's really, it's not like you can carry a torch to blow the ice, to melt the ice as you're walking, kind of thing. That is a difficult problem, and even I avoid going out a lot of times, and in the winter because I just don't want to take the chance. And
right.
So it's hard, and especially when you live in this climate.
Right. So, can you suggest some alternatives for getting your exercise when you can't?
Oh, sure.
Go
so
out?
You can do the exercises that we give you, but there's all kinds of exercises that you can get on TV. There's indoor walking programs that are wonderful. Some of them are wonderful. You can get that actually will just that you it's on the TV and you do exercises as if you were walking in your house. And you do all kinds of different things. They have lateral movements and backward movements, and not just walking. They have arm exercises while you're doing it, and so it's those you can get on YouTube or other or on computers. I don't know how many people have access to computers, but there are lots of online programs that you can do scheduling exercises in your home.
Great. Okay. And would you, just as a reminder to people, talk a little bit about where these classes are available? So
it comes to this Mystic Valley Elder Services. We're going to have a class April 11th at the Milano Center in Melrose here. Anybody can sign up for it. Like I said, it goes from April 1st to May 30th. It's right before Memorial Day, but and it's on Thursday afternoons from 1 to 3, and you can sign up through the Milano Center, or you can also go to the Mystic Valley Elder Services website, and they have all the list of all the classes that they offer. They offer them in different. They cover 11 cities, and so they have different classes in different places. But they have a list of all the different classes that they offer.
They do. Great. Okay, so you would call the senior center in your local area?
You could call a senior center, or you could actually just call Mystic Valley Elder Services. It's a huge operation.
Can you give that phone number?
I don't have it right on me, but I will get it.
Okay.
Let me see if I got it on my phone.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, it just occurred to me, can you take the class for a second time?
Yes.
Could I take it again?
Some people do take it several times because repetition is very important, and that's why a lot of the information you get in week 1 is repeated in week 2 and week 3, and because that's very important. And I don't have the number. But you can take it more than once.
Okay.
Like it's a free service, and there have been people that have repeated the course.
Okay. All right. So since we don't seem to have found Mystic Valley. That's okay. People could get it by calling their senior center anyway, right?
Yes.
Or it is Mystic Valley Elder Services in Malden, correct?
Yes, Mystic Valley Elder Services. Okay, so the main number.
Okay, go ahead.
781-324-7705.
Okay, and why don't you say it one more time?
781-324-7704. And that's out of Malden, but they'll give you information about any of their cities that they
Okay,
service.
Great. So is there anything I have not asked you that you really want to get out there?
Well, I think that it's very important for people to get together and to talk about these things and talk about their experiences, because a lot of these people in these classes have fallen and they talk about it, and they talk about what they did to what happened and how it happened, and then what they did to alleviate it. And I think the community aspect of it helps people to want to become involved and participate and know that they're not alone. I mean, there are some people that think that they're the only one that feel this way. And I think that it's important to have the whole group dynamic, and the sort of, people encourage each other and say, oh, that was a great idea, I'm going to do that. And things that you wouldn't think about on your own, or that even I wouldn't think about, that other people that have experienced it have gone through it, and this is how they solved it. And I think it's very important to have that sort of community and sense of community and sense of cooperation and support.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. This has been really enlightening for me, and I'm really glad to hear that I can take the course again, because I know I've forgotten some things, and I do have my materials, but you know how that goes.
That's the other thing. You do get materials that have the information and that have all the exercises with demonstrations about the exercises as well. So if you forget how to do it.
Great. Okay. So for all you people out there, I hope that you will keep this in mind and think about perhaps taking the course either at the senior center at Milano Center, or your own senior center. Maybe if it's not being taught there, you could suggest it.
Right. Exactly. That's the other thing. If you have ideas, like Louise had thought about actually doing the programs within the senior housing facilities, because some people can't get out, and that's a great idea. And that's something that, you can approach Mystic Valley about. And if you have, some place that you think would be interested in having this program, please just call them and let them know.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. And for all you listeners out there, have a nice evening. This is Louise Fennell, and I'm coming to you from mmtv in Melrose. Good night.
Good night.